But I've really enjoyed actually hearing all these startup stories from way around, really pushing product innovation in Dublin. It's great. I suppose there's something different. When you think of the public sector, innovation might not always immediately spring to mind, but I'm going to talk a little bit about my work in the studio, and we're pushing process innovation within Dublin City Council. So we're a small team, we're 7 people, and we come from various backgrounds within the council. So I'm actually a planner by profession originally, and we have an architect, someone from a librarian, we have someone from finance, from communications, from community development. So we're a good mix, and we're from all grades as well within the council. So we're a prototype ourselves, and we're set up nearly 3 years ago by then city manager John Tierney. We kind of grew out of a collaboration between the public and the private sector called Dublin, which our city planner Dick was involved in. And really it was looking at ways how you would apply design methodology and process innovation within the council. We're also a physical space, that's where I came from the studio. So it's really a space to do things differently. So how do we do that? Well, in essence, we bring people together to explore new ways of working for the council, but also for the city. As I said, we use the design process. So the main thing about using design methodology is it's not a linear process, it's not linear decision making. It's about doing things in cycles, about learning by doing, and crucially, learning from your mistakes and going out again. So this little diagram is actually my simplification of the design process, where we want to be basically, we want to be in this left-hand corner. We like to go out, rough and ready, quick prototype. And when we do that, we're looking for inspiration. So this is where you get the most amount of ideas and feedback on how we can do things differently. We don't want to go out to people with a finished product and just basically looking for validation. So, as I said, we're process-driven, but we work through projects. So, we're an in-house consultancy, so we do a lot actually within City Council to build a culture of innovation. We run a lot of know-how, service design projects. We also, last 2 years, run a self-idea scheme. I'm not going to talk about that too much today. I'm just actually going to point out one of our, this is Roy O'Donnell here. He emerged as an in-house serial inventor of original design. He was Gully manager within the City Council. And this is our first Dublin City Council patent. So it's a retrofit for old Victorian drains in the city, which are notoriously hard to clean. So he's engineered this device which is now patented, and it has potential savings in the hundreds of thousands. These drains are also all over UK as well. So I'm not going to talk too much about our internal stuff. From having a little look over cost projects, you seem to be very interested in themes of citizen city and smart city. So today I'm going to talk a little about new forms of engagement, public engagement that we carry out, but also engagement with private and university sector through our open data Dublinked project and other partnership projects that we have ongoing at the moment as well. So often when the council tends to do public engagement, the conversation can get hijacked by big stakeholders and a lot of interest. So in the studio, we kind of like to do things a little bit backwards. So we like to go out to the public first. Very, very informal kind of box pop stuff that we do. We get our cardboard boxes out, we go out to the street, and we just ask people what it is that really matters to them in the city. The crucial thing about this is we like to do it at the start of the new project. So really, before things have been decided, we ask people what they think, and in that way, the public gets a chance to reframe the conversation and not just stakeholders. So we use this process at the start of the Grafton Street redesign, public rail strategy that was being drafted for the council, and also at the start of the Dockland Street development zone, a new plan for this area around here. We were delighted actually when we were doing the Dockland Street conversations. We actually had our city planner out on the street asking people what it is they wanted, and I think he only got mildly harassed. So, like I said, the benefits of this way of working are really, you can engage with a lot of people. We tend to kind of take a week or so, a week and a half, and a target of about 500 conversations, but you really get a voice of people who may not come to public meetings or might not engage in more formal consultation processes, like Marty here, who tells us what he thinks about public space. We've actually produced an engagement manual as well, which we're just about to put online, so just really trying to disseminate these kind of informal processes to complement more formal consultation processes. Here's an example of some mapping that we did off the back of our public realm strategy on street conversations. So I guess what it is what really matters to people in the city, and not just what we think matters to them. So I suppose it's trying to reach a wider audience with our public participation. But it's not just about participation. It's also about informing the citizens. So for the last couple of years I've been working in open data. I suppose we've heard a lot about big data and it seems smart city, but when you open up access to your public information, that's also helping to inform the citizen as well. So coming from a non-technology background, it's really been an eye-opener for me. For the last 2 years I've essentially been like the data hunter, trying to identify information streams that the council produces, and I help to prepare them into open formats and anonymise them, etc., and publish them as open data. The City Council provides a lot of these regional services with a lot of raw operational data, notwithstanding some services being outsourced, for example, waste has now been privatised, and water is about to go to a national body. But we do have a lot of operational data, fire services, various services that we provide to the region and the city. I suppose Dublin is probably a little bit different to other city municipalities in Europe in that we don't actually deal with health or crime or education data. We don't have a direct role in public transport either, but through Dublinked we've actually reached out to agencies like the National Transportation Agency. We do have a lot of public transport data now. So the portal Dublinked, it was launched in October 2011, and we have 250 data sets up to date. Dublin City Council is over 100 of those data sets. We have 13 organisations, so we're hoping that it will become, I guess, a kind of a data library for the whole of the Dublin region. We have an area as well of restricted scope where we can publish data that's visible only to Dublin members. Now, we've got a little bit of stick from the open data community about this, but I mean, most of our data is open data and freely available for anyone to read in. But I suppose this research data is basically it's data that would never otherwise see the light of day, because for whatever reason it might be licensed, it might be proprietary format. A lot of mapping goes in there because in Ireland Ordnance Survey is licensed information and it's not always open. We also use it for large data streams, and one recent data that we put in there was our real-time bus information, and we're not sure what's the best kind of service delivery mechanism for this. So we put this in the member zone, and it's a place for us to engage with our research partners to look at ways that this data can be used for the good of the city. I suppose we're really trying to go towards more dynamic data sets. We have 6 dynamic data sets at the moment. A lot of transport, most of car parks, our planning applications, customer reporting piece from 6 through Street as well. So we're trying to provide APIs. I guess it's a big skills and resource issue for the council. So it's stuff that we have to do on top of our normal job. Most people who work at Dublinked work on a part-time basis. So we only have one full-time administrative staff, and she's based in Maynooth. So one thing that's been of interest, you never know what people are interested in until you put the data out there. And we knew that transport planning, environment mapping data would be very useful and in high demand. But there were also hidden gems among the data that we really didn't expect at all. Here you can see, here's the stats that I launched in multi data sets. Certain things like fire brigade and ambulance call-outs, they were really interested in that. Other data sets that I never would have considered would be of interest. Fat oils in Greece is an interesting one. It's a register of all businesses that have applied for a license for a grease trap in their premises. And you wouldn't really think I would be interested in that, but in fact it turned out to be one of the most accurate and up-to-date lists of public infrastructure in the city. So another one is electrical lists. We've been asked by data users to provide lists of buildings that the City Council owns, and we didn't really have that ourselves, an up-to-date version that we can give out. But as a workaround, people have been using the electrical list, which is a list of all the electricity meters that the council serves. So, I mean, there's goals there, which is sometimes you have to dig for it. So, I suppose there's no doubt that Dublinked and open data, it's a niche service, so we're not really catering to the public, but we're catering for developers, and and to make it real for the public, they build the applications that the public then uses. So we've 35 completed applications to date. Lots of visualizations as well, which are great because they really help to tell the story behind the data. Two notable applications. Parkia is just being launched in beta mode this month. It's the first mobile parking app in Dublin, and it takes data from our on-street parking and also multi-storey car parks to tell you the best place to park. Another interesting one is Building Eye, which is a planning web service that draws information from all 4 regional local parties, so you can see what's been planned in your neighbourhood across local authority boundaries. They've actually been really successful in getting national. I think they have maybe something like 20 local authorities around giving them data now, and now they're looking to states, so they're building planning information portal for San Francisco at the moment. So again, to stress what the starters were saying here earlier, the market is not Dublin for these apps. Dublin is a good city for them to test in because it's small enough that you can talk to the right people, so that big city problems are going to become local and they can be solved. But really, I suppose we're a big enough city as well that we've got systems that can be scaled globally, and this is where these app developers are aiming. So, Dublinked isn't just a portal though, it's also a collaboration platform. We were really conscious that data is just 1 to 0. It really needs people to get together and innovate. Dublinked was originally a regional objective in the 2009 Regional Action Plan, and it came out of the Creative Dublin Alliance, which is an alliance between the university sector, between public and between private. And that's what Dublinked is as well. We have the 4 Dublin local parties who came together to found it with NUI Maynooth, which is the National University of Maynooth, and they helped curate data and manage the data for us. We also work closely with IBM Research. They provide a technology platform. So, conscious then of the other, the quadruple part of the data users. So we were also very keen to build up an innovation network. It's really about bringing people together around, we have lots of events around themes that are of interest to people, really trying to solve problems in cities facing, public transport, planning, spatial data, visualization, and we're just kind of dipping our toe into tourism and social innovation, other areas which are kind of generally outside what we would look at. Actually, the social innovation Dublinked is happening this afternoon, and we're also going to have a prototyping conference in the autumn as well. So it's really about linking people as well as that. So it hasn't always been easy. You can't underestimate the multiple layers of negotiations that are required in getting data sets published as open data. It does require huge culture change from within our own organisation, and we really have a long way to go in terms of knowledge management and data literacy. There are also issues for authorisation for outsourced services, which is becoming more apparent, and will become more apparent as well as more services get outsourced. This came up actually in Dublin Light. It's an issue for when we're drawing up our procurement contracts for outsourced services. Nobody ever used to think about who actually owns the data for these services. So we didn't have data for Dublin Light, for instance, but we're hopeful now that we're entering a new contract with JP so that we will be able to publish some data as open data. We also have a lot of issues, as I mentioned, with licensing, for example, mapping and proprietary formats, which a lot of that has to be stripped from the data before we can publish it. And we've heard a lot about security and data protection as well. I mean, data mining is just, the technology is so far ahead of the legislation for data privacy that as a public body we have a huge responsibility to taxpayers' data, and we take a very, very cautious approach. We've our data protection officer, gives us advice whenever we publish our data. We actually had a planning breach there recently, and our planning application data set was down for months because of it. And it was kind of an interesting case. I mean, it was because personal names were put in the wrong fields and they got published as open data. Now, these names are actually a matter of public record. You can look up the applicant in the planning application, but our data protection officer advised us that once you move that into an open data format, you're making a search via Google, and then you're actually breaching their privacy. So we had stripped out what we thought were all the names from our planning application feed, but it turns out that when you have online planning application forms, people were putting their names into different fields that we didn't know about. So it takes quite a lot of time and resources sometimes to actually anonymise data. And it is a question for business models, for open data platforms, who ultimately pays for this. So I guess muddling through the issues, there is definitely space for opportunity in the future as well. It's probably fair to say that local government, at least in the City Council, that we're a little bit nervous about entering the arena of commercialisation. In many cases now, when people are building apps on top of our data feeds, we're kind of moving from being a service provider to a data supplier, and a supplier of commercially valuable data. So we've had requests for service level agreements and lots of things, which we really we don't have any experience with. We're a little bit nervous in those, in that commercial arena. Also, it's hard for us. We're grappling with where to draw the line between test bedding and procurement. So there are issues of state aid there, and I believe lots of cities are dealing with the same issues. A pointer seems to be that we need to move from being reactive to requests to test bed on our streets, but to being more proactive and pushing out calls. Maybe that's one way to go. Certainly there's huge branding opportunity there if we can get it together to really push Dublin as test bed for new products and services. And I guess one thing that Dublinked has done is it's given a structure, it's put a structure in place to have a clear prototyping process and to engage with commercial and research partners. So a big part of the benefits of Dublinked for us has been new collaborations and new relationships with the types of people that maybe we wouldn't have naturally engaged with, from web developers to the hacker community as well. We were involved with the National Digital Resources Centre in 2011. We ran an open data challenge using Dubin City Council data, and we started a relationship with the Science Gallery at that time. The Science Gallery are an interesting exhibition space. You should always, while you're in Dublin, it's great. They're within Trinity College, but they're really they're all about interactive space for art in science. We collaborated with the Science Gallery on their biggest exhibition to date, which was called Happy City. So it was all about enabling citizens to interact with urban systems to make the city better. And it's really, I suppose, the hacker ethos has really the city from the ground up. It's been quite a revelation for myself as an urban planner, that kind of freeness of city systems. But our relationship with the Science Gallery then, they were really interested in our public consultation process actually, and they used some of the issues, dereliction, vacancy, transport, that people that came up in our public realm strategy consultation as the basis for a call out for a series of interactive workshops with citizens and using City Council expertise as well. So we had a pop-up idea lab in a vacant shop on Cape Street, and it's also led to a current series of monthly talks called Urban Nights. So that's really trying to bring together a community of urban innovators, and lots of City Council staff have actually presented at the Urban Nights, which has been great. Really at its heart, it's not about us being the experts anymore. We're starting to realise that we need to collaborate with others to co-create the future city. This is another collaboration that we have with the Institute Without Boundaries. They're a collaborative design masters that are based in George Brown College, and they've been working with Dublin City Council over the last year. Dublin is their focus for their current academic year, and they're looking at how the city can collaborate with systems to deliver future city services. So actually, this afternoon they're presenting their final year project in Project Arts Gallery, which is an exhibition space in the bar, and actually there'll also be an exhibition in the foyer of the Dublin City Council civic offices, the headquarters in Mulkey, for the next 2 weeks. Before I go, I'm going to also give a plug to another co-creation event that's actually starting tomorrow in the Digital Hub. It's called Startup City, and it's basically, we're looking at bringing people together to see how we can redefine digital support for enterprise. At the moment, a lot of enterprise functions are coming back within the remit of the City Council, so the Digital Hub is moving back in, and we think it's timely to bring startups, policymakers, and of course together to see, like how can we design things better. So we're inviting startups as well. We have startups involved, so if anyone wants to come along and participate, you're very welcome to the Digital Hub tomorrow. We're kicking off at lunchtime, or even if you just want to come along and see the final presentations, they'll be on Friday after lunch in the Digital Hub. Okay, so to finish up, so can the public sector be innovators? Well, I guess there's lots of good stuff happening in the public sector, but what we're not good at is telling people about it. So in the studio, we're really learning like everyone else. We don't naturally shout out about the good stuff we're doing, but we're starting to build up an online presence to really try and get the message out of all the good stuff that's happening. Thanks very much.